Welcome back for another most special and most yummy update, my friends. So the news that's been circulating around cryptocurrency is that PumpFun will be launching a token. PumpFun. Now, I have this peppy kind of kraken out here just to show you, kind of like tentacles and stuff out here. It doesn't look like it's going to be something great for us because you and I, we got nothing to do with it. PumpFun, the market cap will, I guess, start right now at 4 billion. They've raised 1 billion. Now, straight away, when I saw the 1 billion, I'm thinking, we've got to think, is this a top signal? Well, the answer is, look, man, I don't know, but I don't think so because it's not public. Okay? If you look at my friend Normies, which is your friend Somi, and the exotic top signal list, I have them right here, okay? I have Bitcoin ETF, Ethereum ETF, Andrew Tate launches a coin. Remember, I was saying Andrew Tate was going to launch a coin. I was doing that when he was literally publicly saying crypto is a scam, avoid it, don't touch it, I'm never going to launch a coin. He was literally saying that at the beginning of 2023. And I said, okay, top signal. Now, here's the thing. It wasn't real. It happened early, right? But there's multiple of these. So one of them I have here, if you look at the very, very bottom, a project raises 1 billion for ICO, IDO launch. Now, I want to remind you, this is public ICO, okay? It's where like a lot of people can participate, all right? So PumpFun though, friends, it is possible though. It is, of course, anything's possible. These things have topped out. When they release it, who knows when they're going to release it, yeah? They're going to try cash out the top of the bull themselves. They'll probably try to time the top themselves so they can just distribute, right? Because they're just full on just extracting out here, okay? So the other ones I have Coinbase App Store ranking #1, a meme coin hitting 100 billion market cap, Tai Lopez returning, US Congress self-banning from stocks. So I've been talking about this for a long time. Now see how they're slowly starting to ramp up. So that's just something just to think about. And so really, we can't really do anything about it, right? But it makes you think, right? What happens to Soylana chain when PumpFun launches its own chain and its own token? It makes you think, right? I guess Soylana people might say, well, it's like anything else. Because it's true, right? Maybe they go, but then the network effect stays, right? But it's interesting to think about, you know? When the casino leaves, what happens to Las Vegas when the casinos leave and they go to another town? Right? Do people make new casinos there to stay? Yeah, there is going to be that as well. But so it'll be interesting to see what plays out. HexJam Hex, you're a real speculating machine. Thank you, sir. Actually, PumpFun is doing a 1 billion ICO. I'd rather expect it after 6 big green dildos for OTHERS-btc, not after 6 red. You're actually right, sir. What was the prompt? Cthulhu? Who is Soylana? Who is Soylana? Sir, I love yous. But yeah, very, very interesting, right? That this is happening. 6 red monthly candles, and the business cycle is literally still poop. Now we've had 31 months down in a row. When the PMI data came out. So yeah, it does make you think, right? Just having a quick check. 6 red monthly candles in a row. What happens next? See, they haven't raised it. You never know, man. What they could do is they could, let's say the market goes up, they could get more demand for their token where people now want to buy in at 10 billion market cap, right? Because they think it's really worth 50 billion, right? And then so they raise like another 500 million or $1 billion or whatever. That could happen. And then that's the problem with these OTC, these types of deals, friends. It doesn't trade on the liquid market. You and I can't get in. They basically get in, they wait, and then they wait for the market to go up, and then they mark it up themselves. That's what they do. Because they're offering out there, they're going approaching people. So we'll see what happens. I found this very funny as well, friends. Funny and sad. This is your friend Somi here. I have a scheduled post. Look when I did the scheduled post. I wake up today and look what I see. I see today's date is the 4th of August, 2024. So I've did a scheduled post from that. I've just put it randomly to this date. Pick a random date. Bitcoin 60,000, Ethereum 2,900, Soylana 137, Chainlink $11. PulseChain is 60% below day 1 sack. Did we make it out alive? You can take away my squeaky chair. You can take away my fluffy microphone. But you'll never be able to take away my belief that the right thing to do is to go all in and risk everything. Well, we risked everything and now we're all poor. Let's crank it. Let's crank it. And I'll do it again if I have to. And I will. Oh, man. Look at this. I just woken up. I'm like, yeah, I'm going to make it out. Like, well, of course, Bitcoin survived from this moment. This was Japan, Pokemon Island stuff. This is why I did this, right? Bitcoin survived 60K. Everything else pretty much barely moving up. Chainlink's up, what, 50%, but $15. I mean, bro, you picked that 50 back. Chainlink was $20 in August 2020. Okay, so it's been like, bro, it's 5 years and you're still there. Just fuck these markets, man. So nice scheduled message. So what I did is I scheduled it out. I'm like, well, that's a long enough time. Hopefully it's up. Fingers crossed. No, most things aren't. PulseChain was 60% below SAC price. That's actually higher than it is today. So think about how bad it was. It was so bad back then. If I go back to August of 2020, here we are right here. Here we are. It was literally right here. I made it, and now we're actually 20% below that point. So we actually went up, and we smacked back down. My gosh, imagine that. Imagine what I know. Don't worry, it's about to get a lot worse. PulseChain's going to drop to 17% of SAC price. Go all the way back down here. What do you do, man? Business cycle's crushed. Liquidity's thin. People want to get out. You know, I'm hoping it's manipulation down, but whatever. If you go check out the buy and burn for PulseX, we have a 7.18% now total buy and burn. You know, a lot of people are confused about it as well. They go, hey, look at all that buy and burn, bro. How the hell is the prices this low? Well, no. You got to think, if there was no buy and burn, we would be like 90% lower. Okay? It just means we paid a very expensive price back in 2021. So, yeah, you know, your PulseX would be like, you know, 70 to 90% lower if you didn't have that buy and burn, pretty much. And also the buy and burn, the chewing, friends, it's not what you think. Remember, I've already given you an example. IBM, the owner of the company, IBM, Internet Business Machine, stock market dudes, they have bought cash share buyback more money than the whole market cap, right? And they're still dog shit price performance. So yeah, they have purchased of their own shares something like $130 billion since like the past 30 years. But their market cap was like 120 billion. Isn't that wild? How the hell does that happen? Because it has a big turnover and everybody's pretty much been dumping into the buyback over time for the past 30, 40 years. That's wild, isn't it, to think about it? Man, I couldn't believe that. I heard that from Dildo Leclerc on What Bitcoin Did podcast. And I was like, let me go check that. That's absolutely insane. Because I remember I was at the gym. I was doing triceps then. Doing triceps on the rod. And I thought, I stopped and I go, whoa. I better learn this for the PulseX buy and burn, because something can buy and burn something a lot doesn't necessarily mean that the price is up. But speaking about up, friends, we look into the skies, the mystery on the moon.
So that looks like there's some kind of thing on the moon.
It's pretty good evidence.
So
that's obviously pDAI out here. That's great imagery, man, as well. Thank you to everybody out here. Shadow Mr. Reptile Hybrid out there as well. So it's fantastic. It's also kind of fantastic that NASA themselves, right, did experiments, said the moon's hollow, and we still have people who think that it was fabricated. That's the funniest part. It just shows you how sheepified and cuckified everybody is as a blue pillar. Like, they don't know that the actual government did tests on the moon. It rang like a bell. You can actually go look it up. They actually did tests. It rang like a bell. It's hollow inside. The moon is artificial. Like, they actually did the tests. And then we asked them to do more tests, and they go, no, we can't go back there. Well, that's what the rumor, they can't go back there. But when you tell people, it's funny, go, hey, do you know literally NASA did science? It's like, nah, they didn't. No, they didn't. Because they think they're so smart, it would be in the science textbooks. No, you idiot. They just lie to you your whole face, bro. By the way, you've taken like 18 jabs. You ain't so smart either, are you? You see? There's thousands of things. You're still in the normie fiat system, the normie finance system. You're getting debased 24/7. You see? So it's funny, like, Spencer, this is part of the zombie movies. I'll never forget this, man. I was reading on Reddit, and it was someone's commentary on our zombie virus, in 2020. And then they said, I had the same feeling. I basically, look, I'll just tell you, like, I've concluded the zombie movies are realistic. So in the zombie movies, there's always a character at the start where they're in total denial that there's a zombie apocalypse. and they just go out like nothing happened and they get eaten alive. Yeah. And I'm always like, why is there always that person? I never thought about that person. I just thought it's entertainment for the movie or the game. But then in our zombie virus, exactly happened. There was literal total denial of anything. Just literally, it was interesting just to see people like, oh, like we literally have something happening right in front of you. They're like, my brain moves too much, so I'm not like your worldview warps too much, so it's not going to change how you go about your life differently. I want to remind you as well, friends, as we have some fun here in the game. Remember, I've got these pictures here just to remind you the fundamental driving factors of crypto. Okay, the fundamental driving factors. It's extremely important. You don't know this, like then you're basically just like you're literally a fart in the wind, you're a duck in the pond, you don't know what's going on. It's just okay, you don't need to know, but if you hear every day, you should know. Okay, that's why I give you the highest value content in crypto. Thank you for liking and subscribing. All right, so global liquidity. If it goes up, Bitcoin goes up with it. If it goes down, stablecoins get more scarce. Okay, so they keep printing the money. They keep printing the money, Bitcoin goes up. Now, here's the thing. Some people then say, oh, so then just stay Bitcoin long the whole time. No, because they don't keep printing forever. They print until the business cycle is a positive flywheel, and then they don't need to print anymore because people are spending and circulating fast enough themselves. That's when inflation starts to get a bit hot, and then there's misallocation of capital that eventually begins. And so they pull it back. But in that self-positive flywheel, that's our alt season. Now, we're overdue for it a long, long, long time. Like, man, a freaking long time. Can you believe it, friends? Like, in every cycle, man, friends, literally in 3 out of 3 cycles, the peak of the bull market was 12 months after the Bitcoin halvening. So we're still going down, and we are now 15 months after the Bitcoin halvening. Bro, what the hell? We're like so delayed based off this Bitcoin halvening. 3 out of 3 times, remember. We peaked out in November 2013, Bitcoin. We peaked out in July 2017. That was the altcoin peak, ETH-BTC peak there. And then in 2021, we peaked out in May 2021. Each of those months was 12 months after the Bitcoin halvening. Yeah, so if you sold altcoins and walked away, you win. But with us, we never even got a pump at all. So that's where we are today right now, still waiting. We literally just didn't even pump, we just kept going down. It's not even go sideways, man. We just usually down. So that's what we're waiting for. Hopefully something eventually changes and ends our misery. Remember, I've got some motivational stuff here for you. What's your excuse? So I think this person was born no arms, legs, and can still swim. So I love seeing this motivational, inspirational stuff all the time. I remember playing this last year and coming across it last year, friends. So just seeing this amazing humans, we can do amazing things, man. You know, we can do amazing things. Now, obviously, in the context of us, we can't even compare it. We're just like holding a bunch of Ponzi coins on the internet. But like, that's humans, friends. We are on this journey, and it's going to make it taste even more sweet at the end, whenever that end is. I know it's been a long, long, long time. Fake swag, no excuses. Victimhood is soy. Well done, sir. I hate the guy who gives him the medal and shakes him and gives him thumbs up. You can tell it's what he hates, people doing that poop to him. We can all find the drive when we truly see our personal obstacles. His were obvious, and when we find ours, we're just unstoppable. Most personal obstacles in markets is literally just time. That's most of the personal obstacle, friends. Yes. It's literally just time. You just got to keep holding as long. That's it. That's you let compound, and then you let it compound, and because you never get liquidated on your spot position, you can keep adding. Right, you could get your dopamine could get liquidated. That's for sure. But you know your position still stays there. But once we master that, we can master markets and hopefully make it all the way to euphoria. Like, subscribe, Billy Button, all. Catch you soon.